All right, all right, all right, all right. And we are live. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday, everybody. You already know what time it is. It is the amazing time of day where we come to you each and every single week to provide information that is going to take your life to the next level. I am excited to have you guys all here with us on today. And I promise you that you are going to be in for an amazing treat on tonight as we talk about insurance, how insurance can create generational wealth and financial health. You guys know who I am. You're here on this channel every single week. I am Sharonda McDaniel, your host, where we are bringing you our podcast, Empower with Sharonda, that is created in order to help empower our community and help us close the gap. We all know that closing the gap does not happen overnight, but it does start with us having the information that we need to build, to grow, and to be inspired. As I said today, I have an amazing guest who's going to talk to you about the topic insurance. Dun, dun, dun. You're here. It's an amazing, amazing topic because many of our people misunderstand insurance, or they don't prioritize insurance the way that we like for it to be really understood and utilized. And so today we have an amazing guest that I'm going to bring up to you that knows all things insurance. She has committed her life to insurance. And I promise you, you're going to enjoy this because insurance can be fun too. Tonight's special guest is licensed insurance agent Jasmine Broussard. She is an amazing, beautiful young lady who I've had the privilege of meeting and is honored to be a part of our show today, where she's going to share everything that she knows with you. So go ahead, grab a pen and piece of paper, get your keyboards ready, be prepared to ask any questions, and we are going to kick things off on today. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Hey, Jasmine, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am extremely excited to have you on the show. You look
Hey everybody.
absolutely amazing. I have to shout that out. I love that you came prepared and ready. You made your girl go put a jacket on. But before we get started, Jasmine, I would just like for you to take the time and just introduce yourself to the audience so that they know who you are.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. I really appreciate that. Hi everyone. My name is Jasmine Broussard. I am a licensed insurance agent here in Chicago, and I have been licensed for about a year now. So I have a decent amount of experience. And Country Financial actually has been around since 1925. So they are the financial experts. So me working for that company, that means I have a backing of, everybody who has been a part of this company for so long. So, if I, don't know something and somebody has a question for me, I have a team that's behind me that can answer anything that, needs to be answered.
Awesome, awesome. Well, glad to have you on the show, right? And
Thank
I
you.
know that I remember when I was chatting with you, and I'm like, how old are you? You look so young. And insurance is something that is really big. Tell me, Jasmine, how did you end up in insurance and why insurance?
Okay, so let me tell you, I do have a background in hair. So I am a licensed hairstylist as well. But I am also a creature of change, and I like kind of adding new things and learning new things.
Mhm.
So I kind of got the opportunity from a friend who kind of needed an assistant. And he was an insurance agent. So, I took the opportunity, and then I started learning under him. And I was like, wow, like, this is very valuable because, when I was a little bit younger, I didn't really understand, insurance, and we're paying, monthly for, a possibility. So I wasn't really understanding it, as much. But once I got the chance to actually work in the field and see the value that it brings to people and their families, I was like, this is something that I want to do because obviously with my background and being in hair, like I like helping people. I like to help people look good. And then with insurance, I, help people protect their assets. So it's just all like an aspect of helping. So, I got the opportunity from him, being an assistant. And then, after just a short few months, I was like, yeah, I want to do this, on my own. I want to become an agent. So that's when I made the switch.
Awesome. That's amazing. So there's a bunch of different life insurance out there. And of course, today we are going to be talking about life insurance. But are you all things insurance? Are you just life insurance? Can you tell me, what sorts of insurance you specialize in?
So pretty much I am all things insurance just because everybody needs insurance, like from your house to your car to your life to your business. So I do kind of focus on everything insurance. But I do, however, want to stress life insurance because it's so important. And I feel like, our people, our Black people, we're not as educated when it comes to life insurance. So I do try to, kind of gravitate a little bit more towards that as well.
Okay. And that makes perfect sense. So let's go ahead and dive deep into life insurance because you just covered the topic that leads us into my next question, right?
Mhm.
I know that over and over, and the reason we're here tonight to talk about insurance is really that it's not prioritized. We don't take it as seriously as we should. Tell me, what are some challenges that you face when it comes to getting people on a program and getting involved with getting themselves life insurance?
So I feel like the main thing that kind of deters people from, getting a life insurance policy is they feel like it's a scam. They feel like, why am I paying this money? And, why do I have to pay this monthly for when I die? They don't understand, like, when you pass away and you have a family and you don't have like a retirement plan, or you don't have a trust and a will, or you don't have a life insurance policy, everything that you have, like all your debt, everything that you have, had before you passed away, is going to go on to your family. So they're going to have that burden on top of everything that they already have to take care of. So people just don't understand that, having a life insurance policy and a death benefit, something to have in place when you pass away, is going to help, help their family. Not only can it help, take care of your expenses, your last expenses, it can, cover your mortgage payments, because if you pass away, who's going to be paying that? So that's kind of what, life insurance does. Like, it's in place for when you pass away to take care of like all of your expenses. And then also it can be just like extra money for your offspring, for your family, to do whatever you want to, or whatever they want to do with it. Say if they want to go to college, you left them some money to go to college. If they want to start a business, you left them some money for that. If they want to keep your property that you own, they can maintain that, after you're not here. So that's what a lot of people don't understand about life insurance, like the many things that it can cover for you, alive or dead.
That is amazing. And you said a mouthful and you created a whole bunch of questions that I don't even have here. And that's why I said to you, this is a discussion.
Yes.
One of the things that I want you to elaborate on, because I think you talked about something that a lot of people just don't understand. You said that basically you pass away, you pass on your debt to your
Mhm.
family. So is it a myth to think that when someone passes away, the debt passes away with them? What type of debt is passed on to their family, Jasmine?
So that definitely is a myth, because I mean, if you get property, you know, from a lender, like you get a loan through a lender and you have that mortgage payment and you pass away, that still has to be paid. Like, I mean, not to sound mean on like the mortgage person's, part, but they pretty much don't care. They want their money. They gave you the loan. They want to make sure it's paid off. So yes, that is definitely something that's going to be passed on. There's no other way to take care of it. Obviously, if you've passed on, that debt is still going to be there. So it's definitely a myth. So another thing that would be passed on is, so it would be your home that's going to be passed on. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
be your death benefits. So say you pass away, who's going to pay for your funeral?
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to take care of that? The
All
average
of me.
funeral costs is like $15,000. Not the
Mm-hmm.
average person doesn't have that, in the bank to just give. randomly, because, not all the
Mm-hmm.
time people pass away from natural causes. It could be like a sudden death. So, most times people are not prepared for the unknown. So that's what life insurance does. It prepares you for the unknown. It gives you that security, to know that you're going to be protected. Your family's going to be protected when you pass away.
That is awesome. And that makes perfect sense. So we would say same thing, your car note would roll
Mhm.
over into that debt. What about credit card debt?
Credit card debt, that doesn't, yeah, that doesn't go away. Any type of debt is not going to go away. It can be transferred, yes, or it can be canceled. You don't have to pay it anymore. But like,
Mm-hmm.
obviously the debt that you incurred has to still be paid off. Like, they're not going to keep, giving you a payment every month, but like that lump sum that you have left, it still has to be taken care of, because like I said, creditors, they want their money. If they loaned you something, they want it back, regardless of if you're here or not.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was an amazing response. And it was something that I wanted to touch on because I believe people think like it goes away, but the reality is that if you have a home and the people who leave when you leave and there's people who live there, if they still plan on living in that home, somebody has to pay that mortgage, right?
Exactly. Hmm.
So thank you. That is absolutely beautiful. When you first started talking, you said people think that it's a scam.
Hmm.
I don't know if you caught my face. And I had to laugh about that because, it's not funny, but it's laughable because there are so many things that get grouped into what is considered a scam because it's not something that is tangible,
Hmm.
right? So we've talked a lot about a life insurance and how it can benefit the individual when they pass away, right?
Hmm.
Make sure that their funeral costs, etc., are paid for. But tell us about there's a type of life insurance that people can use now, right? Even
Exactly.
before you pass away. What is that? So start with this. What are the different? I know there's two major types of insurance. Can you tell us what those are, life insurance, and what the differences are with them?
Okay, so there are two different ones. There are actually more than two, but the two main ones that most people know about, there's term insurance, term life insurance. So that means it's for a certain amount of years. So for 5, 10, 15, 20, or 30 years, you can get a term policy. Now, after those 10, 20, or 30 years, then you don't have life insurance anymore. So that's the first one. The second one is whole life insurance. So whole life insurance is what it is for your whole life. Like, you're going to have this insurance policy for the rest of your life. You own this policy. And then another thing with whole life insurance, you have a living benefit. So you actually build cash value as you live with this whole life policy. And obviously, it depends on how much money you're putting into this policy, but every year, after maybe about the second or third year, you start gaining money on this policy. But even for term, you can also have, some sort of living benefit as well. You can gain money on that as well. But for the company that I work for, so for term life insurance, people kind of, gravitate towards this one because the premiums are typically a little bit lower. But another thing with that is, if you wanted to get a term life policy, what we have is return of premium. So what that means is, if you get this term life policy, say you get 15 years and you get the return of premium rider, which is like an endorsement added to your policy. If you get that return of premium, that's exactly what it is. Like, at the end of that 15-year term, you get every single dollar that you put towards your premium back. So
Okay.
say, it's 40,000 that you put into this policy. You're getting a check for $40,000 to put in your pocket after that
So
policy.
so what you say for both of them,
Hmm.
first of course for the term life, if it runs out and you don't use it and you get this money back,
Hmm.
and then also for whole life, would you say that these are more like savings accounts or how does that work?
Thank you for saying that, because a lot of people do, tend to use their life insurance policies as a savings account. So you're putting money away that you're saving for a rainy day, that you're saving to buy a house, that you're saving to start a business, you can use it for anything.
Okay. So it is a myth to think that insurance is only beneficial to you if you're passing away, depending on what type of insurance you have.
Yep. It definitely is true that, life insurance, you have a living benefit and a death benefit.
Awesome. So, we are talking to those who, don't necessarily understand insurance. Maybe someone who's watching right now, someone who's going to go back and watch the replay. So tell me, I've heard things about life insurance, and I've heard how other people, right? They pay for college tuition with life insurance. They pay for, how does that look? So I'm ready to go buy a house, or I want to pay for my kids' college tuition. How do I use life insurance to do that?
So honestly, it all depends on how much life insurance you have. So life insurance, like when you get it, it's not just like a generic number that they give you. We sit down, we get to know you, we get to know what you have going on, how many kids you have, who's going to go to college, what you need, to take care of if you were to pass away. So everything like that goes into account. So then we determine your life number. So we determine how much life insurance you need, and that's how we determine how much you're gonna have. And then each year you gain more money. So after a certain amount of time, you have a certain amount of money that you can use towards anything. So for college, you can definitely borrow against your life insurance policy. So what it is if you have like a huge lump sum of money that you need to take out, you can borrow from your death benefit. So say you have like $200,000 death benefit, you can borrow from it. But obviously when you borrow from it, you might have, a penalty, but you can pay it back, and you have that death benefit back at 200,000 after you use it for whatever you want to use it for. So say if you want to use it for college, you can put it towards college, and then you slowly but surely start paying it back because you picked that death benefit because that's what you wanted, right? So you're gonna, pay it back so you can have that death benefit at the end, but also still use it for what you want to do now.
So break it down for me. If I'm on the other end and I'm listening to this information, we said it's like a savings account. So is life insurance me, for instance, I'm paying $100, and I'm just picking a number, guys. I don't know how much this costs for you, but I'm paying $100 and I'm paying this for whatever duration. Is that, the money that comes out of this insurance, is it just 100% only my money? So really, I'm just saving my money and we're calling it life insurance. Tell me how that works.
So obviously, for any product, the company needs to be paid, right? So it just depends on what kind of life insurance policy that you have. Now, like I was saying with the term life insurance policy, if you get the return of premium rider, yes, you're paying that money, and you're basically, it's like a savings account. So it's only if you live, past that certain amount of time. If you live past that 10-year term or that 15-year term, you get all of that money back. So yes, every single last penny that you put into it. And then for the whole life policy, exactly the same thing. Like you're putting money into it, and then you have that cash benefit. And then it depends on what kind of whole life policy you get. And you can also gain dividends on your policy as well. There's a guaranteed benefit, a guaranteed cash benefit that you have, and then there's also an intermediate amount that you can get. So it's not 100%, but it's a possibility. And with Country Financial, it's almost a given that you'll also get that benefit as well. So you're making that money guaranteed, and then you also have another opportunity to make an additional, cash benefit.
So much like, for instance, car insurance. Obviously, we can't go back and be like, I've been paying all these years, I didn't use it, give me my money back.
Yeah.
But much like like car insurance, I'm paying a monthly amount or a yearly amount. And if I were to get in a car wreck, I obviously haven't paid, as much over this year into this into this car insurance policy as the value of the car. But because I have this insurance, the company does match any event that something does happen. Okay.
100%.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's absolutely amazing. I hope that you guys are learning. I am definitely learning and taking in some information. Really, this is an absolute need, right? We don't have to keep moving forward with living in myths when the information is out there and it's out there for free for us. And
Exactly.
so I'm looking down and you talked about dividends, and it's ironic, guys. I did not share my questions with Jasmine. And I was gonna ask, what are dividends? So you definitely given us some nice segues into that. So can you just, and I know we don't have to get too technical, right? We only
Mhm.
have so much time, but what would be, the kindergarten way of explaining what are dividends?
So basically, a dividend is money that you can make from the insurance company because they're making money from the money that you're investing in the company.
Mm,
So
good.
obviously, you're paying money into the company, right? The money's not just sitting there. We're not a bank. So what they're doing is they're investing it in different companies and different products or whatever. So once they make money off of those products or services or businesses that they have invested into, you get some money as well. So it's kind of like the stock market almost.
Okay, you opening up some eyes over here. Listen, if you guys are getting some great information, please be sure to comment that you're getting some great information. Um, Donzel says that this all makes sense, and that makes perfect sense. So you said something, it's not a bank, obviously, but this money is being invested into stocks. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's what dividends look like. We know that when you put money into a savings account, it really doesn't increase by that much,
Right.
if anything at all. And so, would it make more sense, or does a person make more money off of their money in the life insurance policy than they do with it just sitting in their bank account?
100%. 100%. First of all, you're making money on your money, and then you're also protecting yourself. You're also protecting yourself and your family. So it's just like, it just makes sense to do it that way. It just makes sense because, like you said, you put money in the bank, you can probably gain some interest on it, but it's gonna be like pennies. It's gonna be like
And it's
pennies. But when you're looking at a whole life insurance policy, depending on how much you're putting into it, you can make some good money.
okay.
Mhm.
I'm over here excited. I'm learning a whole lot. I'm learning a whole lot, and I'm loving this conversation because this is exactly what this live in this series is designed to do. It's designed to open up our eyes to the things that we really don't understand, and we don't prioritize insurance. But we see the GoFundMe accounts. I see people talk all the time about, they say, the chicken dinners, or whatever the case may be, or people going and taking handouts and not understanding that life insurance alone could have kept your people from having to go do
Mhm.
GoFundMe's. And
Yeah.
so we're talking about that because the title of the show, of course, is insurance, but it talks about how insurance can create generational wealth as well as financial health. Can you talk to that a little bit more? Maybe by addressing, we may have not have touched all of the myths. What do you believe are some other myths that are out there? And, to every myth, what is that fact?
I just feel like the biggest myth is that it's a scam, and then it's not gonna help you out in the long run, which is obviously not true. Because as long as you're paying your premium, your insurance policy is gonna be there. It's gonna be there for you. Like when stuff hits the fan, like even if you have just like an emergency, not even always if you pass away, especially if you have that whole life policy. It's not always for only when you die. It's like, if you have something go on in your property and you have that, that cash benefit, you can go ahead and draw from that. So that's definitely something that's beneficial, into having insurance. Um, Not even just life insurance. People think that car insurance is a scam too. And I can definitely say that at one point in my life, I felt the same way. I was like, why do I have to pay this? Why do I have to pay this? But it's like, it's literally security. It's security. Like if you have a property that you know is in an area that you know has a high crime rate, what are you going to do? You're going to put a security system on it, right? Because you're protecting it. So why wouldn't you put protection on yourself? You know, you need that protection to make you feel safe, to make your family feel safe. So with car insurance, you never know. Like, we're not just doing it for ourselves, we're doing it for other drivers as well, because you don't know what they're doing, you don't know how they're driving, and they can, you know, they can run into you, and then you don't have car insurance. How are you helped out? Like, what's going to happen after that? Your car is messed up. You're not going to have a way to get to work. You're out of money. Car insurance is going to help you with that. Car insurance is going to help you with that. In the event of an accident that was not your fault, your insurance company is going to pay out.
That is awesome. That is this is really good information. So Jasmine, I am in financial literacy, where we rebuild people's credit, but we also we touch on their finances. And a part of our program, for some people, not everybody, they can get $100,000 life insurance.
Okay.
And I come across a lot of people and they'll say, I already have life insurance through my job. Oh, my grandma's already paying a life insurance policy. Can a person have more than one life insurance policy? And two questions. Why would they want to insure themselves outside of just that policy they get at work?
Great question, because I honestly hear this a lot as well. And just to be frank, your job is not guaranteed. So when you have a life insurance policy through your job, if you lose your job, you lose your life insurance, and then you're unprotected. It's plain and simple. So it is definitely beneficial to have. You can have multiple policies. It does not matter. If you feel like you have another insurable interest, you can, you know, add more money. If you have a business that you have somebody that's working there that's very valuable to you, you can insure them as well. Like if they were to pass away and they're not going to be able to help your business anymore, that's a loss for you. So you're insuring that risk as well. That's what insurance is, insuring risks, you know. So it's definitely possible to have multiple insurance policies, and it's actually a good thing to do because, like, if you have a term life insurance policy, that's 10 years, that can go away. And then you have also your whole life insurance policy, and then you're fully protected.
That's good. So typically, and is it usually the same type? Typically, what sort of insurance or which type of insurance are you getting with your job?
For jobs, it's typically term. It's typically term, or it's going to be like group insurance. So it's kind of broken up with all of the employees. So it's not really tailored to you. So it's basically like a generic kind of insurance policy that they just offer to you just to make you feel a little bit more secure and, you know, make you feel like you're valued within their company. So they wanted to hand you something that's life insurance, which is of value to people. So it's not tailored to you. It's not tailored to your needs. It's not tailored to, you know, your income. It's just something that they give you. And when you come to a company and buy permanent life insurance, like insurance that you own, we talk to you, we get to know you, we get to know, like, what are your goals? Like, you know, what are you striving to do? Like, what are your kids striving to do? Like, if you have a significant other, like if you're taking care of someone, like, we get down to the nitty gritty to like know exactly who you are so we can tailor the policy to you and make sure you have enough, and then make sure, you know, you're having that right cash benefit that you can borrow from, and just to make sure you're fully protected.
Okay. Okay. That's very well said and helps me understand, you know, I have life insurance with work. I have life insurance with my business. My mom pays a policy, right? And this thing keeps going on and on. So tell me, you know, what about babies and children? Is there an age that it's too soon to get insurance? When is the best time to start insurance, and what's the best type for children?
Okay, so the baby has to be born because recently I did have an instance where, you know, the woman was pregnant The baby does have to be born. So as soon as the baby's born, you can insure, and it would just actually be a rider, something added on to your policy. So it would just be, your policy, and then you add an additional insured, or a child term, or a child rider to your insurance policy. So and you can pick whatever amount that you want to get on your child. Like it's not like a certain number. You can pick whatever you feel, that's good for them, because, a lot of the times, like, I'm not sure, well, actually I am sure a lot of people know about like the Gerber life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like something that, parents would put on their children like at a young age, and then that it grows like over time.
So
That's
is
literally the same
Gerber?
thing. No, it's
So it's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's not what we do. We don't do the Gerber life insurance, but it's similar in a sense, because like you can get the life insurance policy on your child as soon as they're born, and then have it for them when they're an adult. Like, give it to them when they're 18. They can choose to do with it what they will, or they can reinvest it, back into a life insurance policy or college or whatever they would like to do with it.
So is Gerber more term life, or is that whole life?
I can't really speak too much to what exactly Gerber is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100% sure, but I would assume that it's a whole life policy, because it holds that cash value, or it grows over time with the age of the child. So I
Okay.
would assume that it was a whole life policy.
Okay. And does that make sense for most cases, especially with children, and just start out with a whole life policy?
Yeah, I believe so, because that cash benefit, I feel like, sells itself. Once I sit down with somebody and I show them the numbers, I show them what they can gain over time, it's just like an easy sell. Like, they're like, of course I want to do this. Of course I want to do this for my child. Like, because you never know what the world is going to be like, when our children grow up. So we want to be prepared.
So is there any reason why a person couldn't get life insurance? Why they would be denied? Why they can't get term or a whole life? Can you talk about that?
Yes, there are definitely instances where people can get denied for life insurance, and it kind of is sad, but I mean, it is. That's what insurance is. Like, we're insuring a risk. So if the risk is too high for the company, then they're not gonna take it. So say if there's somebody that already has like stage 4 cancer, and they don't have life insurance and they want to get life insurance, it's typically going to get denied, because it pretty much is already like, you're probably, hopefully not, but most likely, like, thinking to like an insurance company, they're thinking like, this person may pass away very quickly, so that's maybe too much of a risk for them, so it may get denied. And it's just things like that, chronic illnesses. um you could get a life insurance policy if you're a smoker, but if you already have like lung cancer from it, then it's most likely going to get denied.
Okay. So it sounds like there's definitely some some you got to go to a doctor, you got to get a checkup and all of that stuff
Yeah,
associated with getting insurance.
and that's why I think talking to younger people, getting them to get their life insurance right now, because like, when you're younger, you're a little bit healthier, so you want to get it like right away. Not saying you can't get a life insurance policy at 50, because you could still be in great health, but when you're starting younger, especially if you're getting that whole life policy, you're healthy, and then you're starting off that cash benefit earlier, so you're able to gain a little bit more.
Okay. Um, is there ever a point that we say it's too late to get life insurance?
I do not think so. I don't, because I currently have a client that is 76 wanting life insurance. Now, I will say, when you're getting whole life, it is going to be a little bit more expensive when you're a little bit older. And that's obviously because the risk is higher. We're a little bit closer to, when they say we might pass away, statistically. So when you're a little bit older, you can still get life insurance, but it just may be a little bit more expensive. Speaking back to, getting life insurance when you're younger, because you don't have to worry about it as much, when you're young and you're healthy, you get that cash benefit and you're paying less money.
So I know that this is really the question I'm about to ask is probably hard to answer, but if you could give a ballpark, right? Because one of the reasons that maybe people don't have insurance is that they think it's expensive or they think it is something that is not affordable. Typically, is life insurance really expensive? Like, are you paying the same amount on life insurance that, say, you're paying on your car insurance?
So it is hard to say, because everybody has different situations, and there's a lot of things that go into it. That's why I spoke to, actually getting to know the person and seeing what their plans are in life, what they do in life, how much savings they already have, what they do for work. So it all depends on, like, you. But we also can, kind of tailor it to the amount that you need, because if there's a certain amount that you're not willing to go over, we can plug that in, and then we can figure out how much, death benefit that can get you.
Okay.
And then, down the road, when you feel like you can afford a little bit more, then we can, boost that up. But I do not believe that life insurance is, too expensive.
Okay. Okay. Want to know that it's affordable. People like that word, and
Hmm.
maybe if we can get them to move away from it's a scam when they see
Yeah.
that it's not so, it's not as much money as they may think that it is.
Hmm.
There's only so many minutes when we go live on these. We still have a few minutes, a little, just about 9 minutes, but you talked about a scam, and I've heard so many things when it comes to life insurance, but I guess I've never heard of someone who referred to it as a scam. And I mean, now that you said it, it makes sense.
Hmm.
You've done an amazing job of breaking down life insurance and exactly why it isn't a scam. But is
Hmm.
there something, like, if I were having a conversation with you and I said, girl, no, this is a scam. Is there is there a typical response that you have for the person when they say that to you, or have we covered those things?
I feel like we kind of did cover it, but typically I ask them why. Like, why do you feel like it's a scam? So I can kind of get, like, their backstory, like, what experiences have they had to, make them think that. So obviously I kind of just tailored the answer to whatever it is that they said, and, kind of just explain to them, like, obviously this is something that's needed. It's not a scam. Like, I'll talk to them every step of the way, show them everything. You know where your money is going. And I feel like, when the insurance agent is very personable, and they get to know their clients, they check in on them. So I feel like a lot of the times when people say it's a scam, it's because they don't know their insurance agent. They never see them. They're just paying this money monthly and not really, getting educated on the products and how it's growing, how it's benefiting them. That's when they feel like it's a scam. When they're not educated on the topic, they're like, nope, this not for me. It's a scam, because they don't really know about it. They feel like they probably were duped into it, and now they're paying this money monthly, but they don't really know what it's doing, and they don't even know what their death benefit is. So when an insurance agent, myself, is talking to the client and educating them, and being very personable and checking in on the client and asking them if they have any questions, if they had anything that they were just weary about, I can explain that to them, and reassure them that you're good. Your life insurance policy is going to be there for you when you need it.
You may know this answer, maybe not, and if not, it is okay.
Okay.
But what are some stats? Typically, we started this off and you talked about our race. What is typically the stats of individuals not insured, individuals? I'm sure you guys talk about this sort of thing all the time in insurance. People not insured, people passing away, not having insurance. Do you know stats on that?
I do not know the up to date stats, but I do know that it does typically happen. Just being on social media, like you were speaking to earlier with the GoFundMe. I feel like I've seen so many GoFundMe accounts, for people who, may not have had insurance at the time of death. So I believe that the stats for having insurance and not having insurance is way off. I feel like people kind of just rely on their friends and their families to help them, when stuff like that happens. But obviously, like, life insurance is the way to go, because who wants to get online when you're grieving and ask somebody, hey, sorry, my cousin, we need some money, we need some help to bury them. You don't want to have to do that. You want to be behind closed doors with your family, like hugging each other, talking with each other, not worrying about coming up with the amount of money to bury someone. So I believe, yeah, I truly believe that the stats are pretty low for people that are insured, and that goes for life insurance and car insurance. I feel like a lot of people are driving are driving around without car insurance, and just taking that risk. But I really just think it's because, like, people just don't really understand it, and we don't really have platforms like this where you're diving deep and, like, getting down to the nitty gritty and, like, really trying to understand it. So I feel like opportunities like this will bring awareness to it, and, like, get people thinking, like, what, I probably should go ahead and get some life insurance, and then those
Take a
stats
look
will
at
start
it.
going up. Yeah,
Right.
they'll start going up.
What would you have to say to the comment, you only get one life, right? People not worried about the future. Talk to that. Talk about that with me.
You only get one life, for sure. So what I think about that is, I feel like, one, live life to the fullest. That's for sure. And I say that because if you're living life to the fullest, that means you're doing everything it is that you want to do. But I also feel like when you're doing that, sometimes you're being a little bit more risky. So living life to the fullest means, like, you're doing everything and anything with no regrets. And if you have that life insurance policy intact, you can do all those things and feel good about it. Like, I only get one life, but I'm gonna live it, how I want to live it, and know that I'm protected, like, if anything were to happen.
Okay. As we roll, we got a few minutes left. I want to give the floor over to you. If there's anything that we haven't talked about tonight that you would like to talk about, obviously, we just talked about life insurance. Share what you would like to say to individuals out there about insurance. And then also let us know how we can reach out to you so that we can have a conversation about getting our life insurance started.
Okay. Well, to sum up everything I said, I mean, I'm pretty sure I've said it, like, multiple times. Like, life insurance is much, 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 much needed. And I just feel like, we need to educate ourselves. If we're thinking about it, if we're scared about it, just, like, reach out to somebody. I'm sure, like, a lot of us know an insurance agent, because a lot of people are, owning properties these days, which I'm going to speak to in a little bit. But just talk to somebody, just ask a question. Like, you guys can hit me up. I don't know if my Facebook is tagged, but my Facebook is my first and last name, Jasmine Broussard. I'm on Facebook. I'll tag my website. I'll give that to you guys. My email is jasmine.broussard@countryfinancial.com. But I also do want to speak on other insurances. So we talked about life insurance, we talked about car insurance, but during this pandemic, I feel like a lot of us have been starting businesses, which is amazing, LLCs and everything. So I do want to make a point that you can insure your businesses as well. Okay. So insure your businesses, whether it's a storefront, whether it's your makeup business, whether you do nails, construction, whatever. Like, you can insure everything, because everything has a risk. So you want to make sure that's protected as well. Your businesses, your companies, your cars, your life, everything.
Okay, that is definitely dope, and you wrap that all up in an amazing bow. I just want to let you know that I am extremely grateful to have you on the show. You did an absolute amazing job. You were tagged in my initial post, but
Okay,
please do go back. I'm not sure if you shared the video to your page so your people are watching too or not. But go ahead and drop in the comments your email, how they can reach out to you. I definitely appreciate you for joining us today. I learned a lot, right? And I've sat through information sessions that talked about life insurance. And this wasn't one of those conversations where we think that it's boring to talk
right.
life insurance. And I believe that you brought great value. So I definitely appreciate you joining us on the show today. I am going to take us home. So if you hang out for me just a little bit in the back office or the backstage, I will be right with you. I'm really excited about
Thank
having
you so
you
much
on
for
the
having me.
show. Thank you. All right, guys, you heard it. You heard it here from the beautiful Miss Jasmine Bouchard. I invited her on this show for a number of reasons, right? We want to hear from our people about the things that we go through. She did an amazing job of speaking to you about how you should and could prioritize your life insurance. Life insurance is just as important for your living now as it is in death. We live, live, live. We go by the songs or the raps that say you can't take it with you, but we live a life and we know how hard it is. And is it fair for us to leave behind a struggle for the people who precede us? Life insurance is something that is an absolute must. What is your life worth? Do you want to leave this place and everybody is trying to put money together for a GoFundMe? Do you want to leave this place and you have children who were once living in a home and now they have absolutely nowhere to live because you didn't leave money behind to at least cover and pay for that mortgage? Life insurance has so much more power. We have money. We go to work, we work for it. But how do we effectively allow our money to work for us sets the tone for how we create generational wealth, right? You get a big enough policy, and you can really leave some money behind for your kids. But how it can create some financial health for you in the event that you need the information. I am not going to go on my soapbox, but I am so glad as we go into episode 9. We only have one more episode left. That was an amazing person to bring on. I hope that you guys learned so much information. We are here so that you can be empowered, so you can take your life to the next level and start to close the gaps. That happens by having these very conversations. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Share this. You're getting keys to your financial freedom. Share it with the world. We become better because we share information just like this. I'm going to thank you all for being here. God bless each and every single one of you. I hope that you got some stuff out of that. Jasmine's going to put our information underneath this video. Reach out. To ask questions is free, but it can cost you huge to not ask a question, right? Go out there, take some action. You know what time it is. It is a wrap. But we are here each and every single week. We got one more episode left of season 1 where we'll take a break and we'll come back with even more amazing guest speaker to share information to sow seed into your life. We will be here next Sunday, same bat time, same bat channel. You know where to find me. We'll be right here next Sunday at 7 p.m. here on Facebook. I can be found in multiple places. Guys, if you're looking for your girl, I am on Instagram at empowered_with_Sharonda. We have a YouTube channel. Go hit that subscribe button at Empower with Sharonda. This is now officially a podcast, and we are all over the place streaming as a podcast, right? Podcaster, Anchor, and the list goes on. I will make sure to put those all on my page. You have an amazing night. God bless each of you. Stay safe. What is the value on your life? Go ask yourself that question and then go do something about it. See you guys next Sunday. Bye.